Hey everybody, this is TJ with Nashville Entertainment. I'm with
Jill Santabanez and
Whispering Bill Anderson.
such a treat. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for inviting me. I've forgotten my name there for a minute.
You know, if you forgot your name, everybody in the world knows your
Everybody
name.
already knows.
You never even need a name tag if you go to a reunion. You don't
Well,
need a name tag anywhere you go.
I can usually just open my mouth. You know, of course, that gets me in trouble because people recognize my voice, but they may not recognize me. Maybe go somewhere with a ball cap on or something, you know, and people don't recognize me until I open my mouth, and it's a dead giveaway.
Very distinct voice. Now, is that something that you progressed along the years, or it just comes out naturally?
No, it's just the voice the good Lord gave me, for better or for worse.
I think it's for better. I think you're a
thank
success. 7 decades. Your first hit at 19. You wrote your first hit at 19, and I mean, you've done some really incredible things. You've written a book about all your accomplishments right here. How's everything? How do you stay in the business as long as you have? The staying power is something so many artists just struggle with.
Well, I'm very lucky. I've been very blessed as I write in my book in so many different ways. I never came to Nashville with the idea of just coming here and being in the business for 10 years or 5 years and then going back and doing something else. I mean, my whole goal from the very beginning was, okay, this is my life's work. This is what I'm going to do.
You have a passion for it.
And when you got a passion for it, when you still enjoy it, I still enjoy everything about the music business, the entertainment business. As long as I enjoy it and I'm blessed with good enough health to keep doing it, then I'll try to keep right on doing it.
What's your health secret? I mean, you look great. I mean,
Incredible.
It's all done with smoke and mirrors.
Minus the smoke, I bet.
Thank you. Well, I try to watch what I eat. I exercise every day that I possibly can, and that's just about every day. And just try to, get my rest, which is tough sometimes, especially on the road. The hardest things on the road are eating right, and that may be the hardest. And then getting enough rest is close second.
We've heard a lot of people talk about that, about how on the road you can control everything that you eat, everything you do, and you're just like, but when you do planes, you do buses, you do all of that. So I know that's tough, but it's worked out. So
well,
you need to write a book on that. Diet and exercise, how to look like this.
You go to a truck stop, you're on a tight schedule, you run in, you grab something that you shouldn't eat, then you get on the bus and roll down the road, and you realize you shouldn't be doing what you're doing. But sometimes it's either that or, you're starving, and so you have
Jill's
to.
from California, so she's very healthy. I'm from Mississippi,
I
try to explain to her the best food you're ever going to get is at a gas station.
Isn't that funny? Yeah, it's fresh food at a gas station.
I had to explain that what a meat
and
free
you
is all
eat
about.
bean sprouts and
I do.
all those healthy
I
things.
do. I
so,
love it. I do. But let's talk about, you've actually done more than music. You've done hosting at the Grand Ole Opry. You've been a radio personality. You've done and I think
You've done a soap opera before.
your versatility, an actor, exactly.
Well, I don't know about being an actor. I was on a soap opera for 3 years off and on a
That's
show
so
called
cool.
One Life to Live, but I just
A little show called One Life to Live.
played the part of myself, so that wasn't very much of a stretch. But I've been very fortunate. I've had a lot of various opportunities in my life, hosting game shows on television and all
Nice.
kinds of
That's
stuff.
fun.
So, yeah, it's been a very fulfilling life. I never planned it the way it's turned out, and I talk in the book about the fact that it just one door would open and I'd walk through it and see
Right.
what was on the other side.
Well, that's through
and-
your faith also, putting your faith out there and you know it's going to happen, you believe it.
Well, the good Lord smiled on me. He sure
He's smiling
has.
pretty heavily on you.
Yeah, he really has, and I do not take that for granted.
I believe he
believe me.
smiles on anybody as long as they have the faith and they believe, and then they're not fighting against anything. You have an incredible life. I just think it's great.
Well, I had a good foundation. I had a mom and dad that loved me unconditionally. My grandfather was a minister, a Methodist minister, so I grew up, in the shadow of faith. And when I first came to Nashville, my first music publisher took me aside. I'd only been here a few months, and he took me aside and he said, "Anderson, every song you write sounds like it came out of the Baptist hymnal."
Really?
I said, because that's the music I grew up
Your
with.
influences.
And I certainly wasn't trying to steal, melodies to the old hymns and things, but sometimes subconsciously, I guess maybe that I
That's
did
something
that.
like that. But I know what you're talking about. And I miss the hymnals. When you go to church, if it's not a traditional church, they don't have hymnals anymore.
Right.
Everything's on the screen.
Yeah, they shine it up on the wall
Yeah.
or put it up on a screen or something.
Go
I
in there
like
and find it really
say
quick
yes,
and-
and turn to page number so and so
And
and so
everybody's
and so,
flipping
and
pages.
you turn there, you know, and there
That's
it
cool to
is.
know that that's where your music comes from, and your publisher way back in the day, he actually picked up on that. But he
Well,
said Baptist.
it
That's
you know
funny.
it was good, it was positive, and it was negative both. Obviously, you can't. Some of those old melodies are public domain, but you still don't want to steal
Yeah.
them or borrow from them. You know, but that was just
It's a great influence
the music
to have.
that was embedded inside me, and I had to get beyond that.
Let's talk about your book. Let's get
Let's
into
do.
Let's talk about that.
I just happened to have a copy with me.
That's really convenient.
Actually, the book doesn't come out officially until the 1st of September. We have some advanced copies through my website at billanderson.com. Anybody just sitting there and saying, boy, I can't wait to read that, we can take care of you. But the book will be out the 1st of September. It'll be available on Kindle and ebooks and all these new things that they do these
I
days.
love that. I love audiobooks.
And yeah, it's going to be on an audio book the 1st of October.
Nice. So you can listen in your car. You don't have to sit down and read because everybody's on the go. So
I'll
how
read it
perfect
to
is
you.
that?
If you don't want to read my book,
There
I'll
you
read it
go.
to you. Just wait for the audio book.
Nice.
And we've also recorded a new CD that'll be released with the audio book, 10 of my best known songs that I've just done very acoustically, like they've never been done before. So we're trying to create some interest, and I hope we will along the way.
Oh, yeah.
And you're still performing quite a bit at the Grand Ole Opry.
Every chance I get. I keep going up that little walkway in the back with the canopy over it, you know, and the sign that says
Little side
artist
entrance.
entrance. And I keep thinking, you know, one of these days somebody's going to be out here and they're going to say, no, you can't, you're not on the list tonight.
Oh, that's never going to happen.
You can't
Not
come
with
in.
you.
But they've let me hang out there for 55 years now. I tell everybody I went there when I was 4, but I've been there for 55 years and still love it as much now as I did the first time I was on.
That's so cool. Well, it's an honor to have you on our show. I can't wait to read this book. It comes out September 1st, and billanderson.com is your website. Now, they can find links to all of your music, your social media, everything that you're doing there. And they can still go to the Opry and watch you perform, or they can catch you in a city or a country near you. I keep up with Lee. Lee and I have been friends for a couple of years. He's one of the first people I met here, and we realized that we both are a little similar. We have a lot of fun, but we get our job done.
Yeah.
And it's fun to watch him check in. He calls you the boss all the time.
Well,
Bored of
he's,
playing with the boss.
You're talking about Lee Willard, of
Yeah,
course,
Lee
who
Willard.
is
Straight A
he's
entertainment.
my manager. You know, it's funny. I'll introduce him. He's so much younger than me, and he could be my son. You know, and I'll introduce him as my manager, and people will say, "No, you mean you're his manager?" No. But Lee, he keeps me connected with all of you young folks. You know,
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
and keeps new, fresh ideas in my head, and that's very helpful. It really
bet.
is, because if you're going to continue to do something you've been doing as long as I've been doing this, you need somebody to tell you, well, you know, it ain't 1960 anymore. You know, you got to do it the way they do it today. And,
I like it
and-
the way it's coming back. There's a lot of traditional country coming back into Nashville.
well, it's
People
not just
need
the
this.
music, it's the
Right.
way the whole business works, you know. The music goes in cycles. You know, people will say to me, well, it's not like it used to be. Well, you know, your cars used to have running boards on them too. They're not like they used to be either. So it's all cyclical. It'll come back around, and when it does, I'll write another book about it.
Of course, exactly.
Well, thank you so much for your time. It's been an honor.
Thank y'all.
talking
Great
you.
to be
So
with you.
fabulous meeting
Thank you.
you.
Good to see you guys. Thanks for having me.